The following is an AZPM original production.
Arizona Science is supported by Research Corporation for Science Advancement.
For Arizona Public Media, I'm Tim Swindle, Professor Emeritus of Planetary Science at the University of Arizona, and this is Arizona Science. Joining me today is Lauren Petrullo, an Assistant Professor of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology at the University of Arizona. Welcome, Lauren.
Hi.
You recently led a study that caught my eye about squirrels in the Yukon and how struggles early in life can reduce life expectancy later. That raises a bunch of questions, but first, tell us a little bit about the squirrels you were studying.
Sure. So this is a population of North American red squirrels. They live up in the southwest Yukon, Canada, close to Kluane National Park, just off the Alaska Highway. The squirrels in this region have been studied for just over 32 years now, continuously monitored. The project is really focused on capitalizing on some of the naturally occurring things that happen in the region, these boom and bust cycles of their primary food source, changes in population density linked to those boom and bust cycles, but also our ability to do some experimental manipulations on a subset of animals.
What are these boom and bust cycles? What causes them?
Yes, so red squirrels in this region primarily consume seed from the cones of masting white spruce trees. These trees are a masting species, which means that they produce a superabundance of these cones in some years. But in most years, they actually don't produce any new food, or very, very few cones are produced. And these sort of food boom and food bust cycles are unpredictable in the sense that they occur episodically. They're not like seasonal changes that happen every year. Instead, they can happen every 2 years, every 7 years, every 4 years, every 3 years. So they're this really sort of fluctuating and oscillating resource for the squirrels living here that are relatively unpredictable.
So in the squirrels that were born in bust years actually have shorter lifespans then? Is that the way you measure how well they do?
Yes. So what we did in this study that's a bit different from what previous studies have done is we considered a large range of different early life adversities is what we call them. So these are things that can happen ecologically in the environment that can be difficult or challenging. There are also things that can happen from more of a kind of maternal investment or developmental perspective.
So how did you tweak their situation to study it?
These food booms happen, right, every 3 years, every 4 years. And so we can actually go back and pull data from these individual squirrels who we've followed over the entire courses of their lives to see if those that got to encounter these food booms did better, even if they were born into harsh conditions. But then on the other hand, we also have a separate few study areas at our field site where we can actually experimentally manipulate food abundance for squirrels. And so for a period of 14 years, we provided the squirrels living on this experimental study area with buckets of ad libitum peanut butter, which means essentially that they got as much crunchy peanut butter as they wanted over the entire course of their lives. And we did this by hanging a bucket with about 1 kilogram of peanut butter at the center of these individual territories for some of the squirrels, but not all of them. For the squirrels that got the additional peanut butter, they lived longer lives. But what we didn't find was any effect of that extra food supplementation on kind of alleviating or mitigating the costs of an early environment that was harsh or very challenging.
What's the next step in your study?
Lots of really interesting questions kind of popped up at the end of this study. One of those is obviously related to the sort of underlying mechanisms that actually link the early life environment with lifespan. And so we have some ideas about things like telomere shortening and physiological stress responses and things like that. So doing some kind of molecular-based analyses to get at what those kind of proximate or underlying mechanisms linking early life conditions to lifespan is definitely kind of the next step as well.
Thanks for coming in, Lauren.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Our guest today has been Lauren Petrullo, who's been studying how childhood stress can affect life outcomes for squirrels with potential implications for other animals as well. This is Tim Swindle, and you have been listening to Arizona Science. You can also listen to this and other Arizona Science segments by going to the AZPM website at azpm.org.
Thank you to Research Corporation for Science Advancement for their support of Arizona Science. AZPM podcasts are made possible in part by donations from listeners like you. Learn more at support.azpm.org. Thank you.